Hey friends, I'm Chad Brooks. I'm a pastor here in North Louisiana, and I want to talk to you today about what long-term ministry in COVID looks like. But I first want to talk about this really short football career that I had when I was a kid. I went to a small private Christian school, and in 8th grade for 1 year, we had a flag football team that played in a league with other small private Christian schools. And guys, we were horrible. I mean, bad. It took a first few games before we ever scored before we ever got our first down. I think it was another game or two after that before we ever scored for the first time. And we never won a game all season. We were absolutely horrible. But one of the reasons I think that we just never managed to do good on our offense was the way the rules worked. It was like Canadian League football or like arena football, where you only had like 10 players or 9 players on the field at the same time, and each player played both offense and defense. And we were just so absolutely tired. I mean, we were whooped so bad when it came time to try to score that we just did not simply have the gas in our tanks to do it. And if I think about what ministry has looked like inside of the coronavirus, and this is just the world of 2020 we live in right now, you know, I've seen so many pastors that have pivoted, that have done amazing things. Everybody has just adapted marvelously well, but I don't think any of us thought it was going to last this long. I remember reading an article that came across my feed early on. I can't remember where it was now, but it was like, this is a long winter storm. You need to get ready. And they were talking about August and September, and I would pass this along to other leaders, and they were like, oh, certainly, there's absolutely just no way on earth that can be for real, that can actually be something that's going to take this long. And now we've realized it's the absolute 100% truth. You've got churches that don't know when they're going to open. You've got churches that are waiting till 2021, all of these things. But right now, the biggest thing any of us can be doing, I think, is learning, what does it mean to start playing offense in the coronavirus? What does it mean to, as much as we can, begin gaining ground and begin getting first downs and begin scoring points, regardless of what our environmental situation is like. And so that's what I want to just take a few videos and talk to you about. What does it mean to play offense in the middle of the COVID-19? And the first thing today is this, and I'm just going to talk about one thing real quick and offer up a few solutions. But this is what it is. Number one, the best thing that you can do right now in your ministry, no matter where you are, no matter if you're open, if you're not open, if you have a hybrid model, whatever these things are going on right now, the number one most important thing I think any of us can be doing is defining our team. By defining our team, it means I think every single church leadership needs to have absolute hard data on who is part of their church right now. Not in February, not necessarily in April, but right now, who is part of your church? And I'm talking exact names, no estimates, no, oh, well, we have 38 peak live stream viewers, so we're going to multiply it times. No, you need exact names. The toughest piece for this for many Christian leaders is that your database at your church does not work for you. Your database is antiquated. Your database probably has bad information. Your database is just not fulfilling the needs it can right now. And a strong database is the absolute most important thing I think that we can have right now. At my church, Foundry, I swear by Planning Center and their entire ecosystem. We don't just use people, which is 100% free and a great database function if you don't have anything right now, or if like what you have is so far gone, you just want to declare database bankruptcy, or even if your church leadership or your board or your staff or whatever, they don't have the mental or emotional energy to tackle your database problem right now, go start a Planning Center database. It's 100% absolute free, because you need to know who you've got right now, and you need to have good information on them and the ability to contact them and the ability to sort them in different ways. Planning Center is the best way I know how to do that. I've helped and coached others alongside developing this completely different Planning Center database system. Might share more about that in the future, but that's not the purpose of these. I'm not here to sell you anything. But you need to have just rock solid, hard data about who is at your church and what does that mean for you. At my church this past 2 weeks ago, we decided to run a list. When we use Planning Center, like I said, we use the full ecosystem, the full suite of Planning Center products. So we use it to process our digital giving and our in-person giving. We use it to manage all of our small groups. We use it for registration for worship on Sunday mornings. We use it to check in volunteers and to schedule volunteers. We use it for every single thing that involves people at our church. And so what we did was we set up a list and we ask it this. Every single person who's registered for worship in the past 6 weeks, everyone who is signed up to serve in some way in the past 6 weeks, whether that's digital or whether that's in person. We've had people doing both. Anybody who is given in the last 6 weeks, and then anyone, and we began opening up youth ministry and some physical small groups and that sort of stuff this summer because we had to. I'm not here to fight about that, not here to argue about that. We had to do it. But anyone who has attended any sort of discipleship event or system, including kids ministry, student ministry, adult ministry in the last 6 weeks, and we got that name spit out to us. And I'll be honest with you, it's about a third of who we would have had in February when we said that. But that's our hard data right now. Those are the people that we know are here and are active in our church with us. And so that defines our team. And once you know who's playing on your team, you're able to pivot, you're able to make plays, you're able to do things. But that's the biggest thing right now, I think, for us playing offense in coronavirus is knowing who is on your team. And so just get the work together to do that. If you don't have a database solution, I would go to Planning Center people, 100% free, start doing the work and getting your folks in there. And so that's it. So the next video that I'm going to do is all about why this matters. But the first thing you do before you jump into it is that you have to know who is at your church right now. And so Chad Brooks, thanks for popping onto this. If this is posted in places I can control and stuff like that, I'll be in the comments to answer questions and that sort of thing. But I'm going to do 4 or 5 of these, but it's all about how do we start playing offense in the church right now. Thanks so much.